Oh,
Nicks and Bruises, we are back. Shout out to the chat. Yo, Black is time. Tony Crow. I got my guy Eru. I got my guy DJ Shuttle in the building. What's good, fellas?
chilling.
Appreciate you guys joining.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we're gonna talk about a couple things. We're gonna start off with this 2-minute report. You know what I mean? Last 2-minute report came out. Some things got unveiled that we kind of knew already, but the Philly fans ain't happy about it. The Philadelphia 76ers organization is not happy about it. The coach ain't happy. The players ain't happy. But we don't really care. You know what I mean? It's part of the game. Missed calls. We see it every day. We've been through it. Everybody's been through it. But they crying. I'm laughing. They crying. What was your thoughts on that 2-minute report when it first came out? Or if you want to start with before the report came out, just that ending of the game and that sequence.
Nah, I'll let E go because he would have the watch along game going, and he had a good call on it. So let's let E kick that off.
I should have clipped that. I should have played that.
Well, I'm always complaining about the refs. That one ref, I think he was like number 48 or whatever it was, the brown skin brother that was he was actually in the corner when that play was happening. You know what I'm saying? And he swallowed the whistle. But before that, he's the guy that keeps missing these calls or making phantom calls where the other refs got to be like, yo, man, nah, what are you doing? You know, like there was a couple times in the beginning of the game where he made like some bogus call or said it was out of bounds or something like that. And then a ref is like, yo, nah, man, what are you doing? You know, and then he said, my bad, my bad, that type of thing.
Twice in a row, matter of fact. I think he had that my bad.
Yeah, the same type of thing. So for him to have the thing to swallow the whistle at that time and let the players figure it out, as long as nothing like outlandish is happening, then I think it's fine. If I was on the opposite side of that, I would have been fine with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna complain about like diving for the loose ball and incidental contact. Oh, it was chest to chest and all that nonsense, man. So I mean, as it's happening, like you said, that call that I made, like I was like, the referee said F it, because that's what I was watching. I was like, yo, the referee said F it, because there was a lot of contact. DiVincenzo got fouled first. You know what I'm saying? When he popped back out before he gave Brunson the pass. And then Maxey actually pushed off, on the inbounds pass. He pushed off hard, like, wow, so they didn't make those calls. So, I don't know if the 2-minute report had those two things in it. They didn't, right?
It actually said Maxey didn't push off, which is crazy.
It's invalid. It said all that stuff is invalid. So I don't even want to hear it. You know what I'm saying? So I know I'm talking too much, but Mr. Shuttle, he got some logic stuff to drop on you guys.
Now, listen, all I know is, as a player, all you want is consistency by the referees. You know what I mean? And it wasn't really super consistent for the refs for the entire game. You know what I mean? But as far as that final play though, well, first of all, just missed calls. The reverse call on Kyle Lowry was bogus. That was wild. I don't see how they reversed that. Like you actually called that foul and you're reversing it. Yeah. They saying that the contact happened after the ball got deflected, whatever. It was a foul. So that was terrible. There were other, like the out of bounds calls. You said like it wasn't a great, well refereed game anyway. But just isolating that last play, the last 2 minutes of the game, last 1 minute of the game, I mean, you could say it's a foul or not, but Maxey pushed off. Period. End of the day, he did push off. Now Brunson definitely grabbed his jersey. So if they called that foul, like you really couldn't be like, where'd they get that foul call from? You couldn't. There'd be really like no question about it. But if you didn't call a push off, then you can't really call that grab either. Is the way I saw it. It's the end of the game. You don't really want to call a foul like that to decide the game. Let the players decide it. I mean, first of all, Lowry needs to be calling timeout. You've been in the league for 100 years. Why? First, you should either be looking to the coach or you should just know better. I was a point guard. I don't need anybody to tell me I need to call a timeout so we can advance the ball with that little bit of time left. You got one timeout. What are you saving it for? This is the time that you need to use it.
Especially up.
So you didn't do it, and this is what you get. This is what you deserve for not calling a timeout. And I played it in real slow-mo too. The coach is not going to call timeout immediately when Lowry gets the ball. I did the count. The coach goes to do like this at like 4 seconds, and he don't do the hard body. He don't do this. He does it like he's not really sure if he wants to call a timeout. So I'm like, listen, I don't want to hear it. You get what you deserve when you act in the when you do what they did. They got what they deserve. And then when the ball went on the floor, now he's trying to call timeout again, but the ball is loose. It's too late now. So Philly, y'all blew it. That's what really happened. Y'all blew it, and y'all got what y'all deserved.
And that's the only reason I don't like the 2-minute report, because it now they're trying to change the narrative. You know what I mean? I watched a bunch of Philly podcasters after the game. They all said, there was a foul, whatever, the refs, this, that, but that wasn't the emphasis. The emphasis was, like you said, Kyle Lowry, how are you not calling a timeout? Which they got you here for veteran leadership, and that's the most veteran leadership move you could do, is call a timeout right there. Not to mention him missing that free throw.
I'm sorry. Yo, I'm sorry, Tone. Listen, I was a point guard, bro. Listen, yo, don't wait for the coach. That's what I was taught. The assistant coaches told me that. Listen, we trust you. You're a leader out there. That's why you're out there. Like, yo, listen. Oh my God! Like if that would have been Derek Harper or somebody like that, yo, we would have been killing him for not making that kind of call. Even Brunson, because Brunson's supposed to be a leader. He's smart. He knows the game. Yo, if Brunson doesn't make that play, yo, New York fans are slamming him for not doing that. Forget it. We're not going to talk about the push off and the out of bounds and the loose ball. Nobody's going to be talking about that. Why didn't you call timeout? And I don't like Kyle Lowry, so I'm very happy that he is the victim here.
Coming down to the basketball stuff too, like after he missed the free throw and Brunson flew up the court, what happened to playing basketball? They waiting for the referees to start blowing whistles to save them. You know what I'm saying? Like who was there to get the rebounds? I saw Nick
Harris.
Yeah, there was 4 guys there. There was 4 guys underneath the rim. Nobody was able to get the rebound. Hartenstein was able to get that last rebound. But outside of that, like Knicks fans brought that to the table. But I saw some Philadelphia fans doing the same type of illustrations. Look, there's 4 of us here. We mean to tell me we couldn't? Nobody can get the rebound. Mm-hmm. So we're not the only ones that's looking at it logically. So gotta give some Philly fans credit too, man. But that's what it comes down to. Like if it's the playoffs, man. The whistles are gonna be swallowed. The Knicks know how many times have we been through this in our lifetimes, man. We're older fans, you want to talk? The first one is Greg Anthony, right? Remember when Greg Anthony got shoved to the ground and then Reggie Miller caught it, hit the 3-point shot? We never complained about that.
Charles Smith. Yeah. I mean, Charles Smith was fouled. Smith was fouled.
Eru, to keep it 100, we have complained about it, but you know what I mean.
We wasn't going to send emails to the league talking about, hey, help us out here, guys. Come on, like we never do that.
That's the new world that we live in, where everything is a complaint. You can't just handle it. Like you got to put your ace on your chest and handle it. Like, listen, yo, we lost, we blew it. We should have made a smarter call at the end of the game. Maybe it's questionable with the call and the fouls or whatever, but don't drag it.
Yeah, man, you got to take your nicks and bruises, man. Take your nicks and bruises. You know what I'm
saying? That's it.
Oh, shout out to Joe Long in the chat. He says Larry always looks like he just got caught flashing Girl Scouts.
Like he got his hand in the cookie jar.
That's what I thought he was gonna put. But yeah, man. I you know what I mean? Like they blew that game, they choked that game. We never stopped playing. We, you know what I mean? Shout out to Thibs, always saying, you know what I mean, play it to the last whistle, having guys that you know what I mean, they fight until the end. They never give up. Last possession.
And for all of the slack or flack that the coach has received the past couple of years, Hartenstein said it. He said it. This is why the coach has us prepared. No game is over. And all the talk about why he doesn't take players out of the game. And the mentality was in the game for them tonight because they don't get taken out of games.
Yep.
No game is over. No game is safe. And it proved, and they like their way of fighting to the end was proven. And this is because of the coach. Yeah, you better stop respecting and put some respect in that coach's name. We don't care if you don't want to play for him. We don't care if he's your least favorite coach you want to play
we
for.
gotta talk about it. We gotta talk about it.
But because the players here want to do it. The players here want that smoke.
Yeah. Even DiVincenzo said it. He said they actually practiced for that. Because like we said when he missed the first shot, he said he wasn't worried about it because he knew the ball was coming back to him. So he just got into a position where he knew he was gonna get the shot, took it, and just
practice that. Your words. We practice that. The coach is running the practice.
Yeah.
Yo, man, y'all better definitely start saluting Coach Thibs immediately.
Yeah, I'm one of those guys too, man. Because I wanted him fired. You know, you go through your times throughout the whatever, but now when the chips hit the fan, man, it just the way that our team is prepared as a team, everybody just knows what like the way that ball was flying left and right. Like Hartenstein, when he was on the floor, he knew where OG was. OG knew where DiVincenzo was. You know what I'm saying? DiVincenzo, when he got fouled, when it was tussling, whatever. And he came out and he gave the pass to Brunson. He knew Brunson was there. You know, it's like the ball was moving so quick at a time where your brain is not thinking properly. And our guys were all in sync, man. Where does that come from?
Not at a time where your brain's not thinking properly. At a time where it's such a tense moment that it can be too much too fast, and you can feel helter skelter. But when you practice certain plays, when you're more cerebral players, okay, then you don't get too, the moments don't get too hyped for you. You stay under control, you keep it cool, and you think about the things that you've already practiced, that you've already implemented, and you just look. I mean, like the way it was like clockwork for that to be so helter skelter, it ran like an oil machine.
Or even better, I'd call it controlled chaos. You know what I mean? Because it's still in the midst of chaos. But it doesn't affect how they move, how they handle the situation. So
it was just lit. It was just lit.
Yeah,
man. it was just lit. Yeah, I ain't going front. I'm watching that game and I'm like, oh man, you know. And then before I know it, oh man, I'm screaming in joy.
Yeah, did you even notice Tom Thibodeau at the end? Like, do you notice Nick Nurse? Nick Nurse is on the other side going, "Oh my god!" Like, if your coach is doing that, you're in trouble. You know, if your coach is like, "Oh my god," to the referee, "Oh my god," like he's yelling and screaming, not talking to his players are not communicating. But our Knicks guys, no matter what was happening, we always chill the entire game. You know, and Tom Thibodeau, just like when you see him, he's pissed, Jesus Christ, you know, that type of stuff. But only when you see him, you don't see the other antics, man. That's the difference between what's happening on our side compared to what's happening on their side.
That's a fact.
Yo, Coach Thibs, boy. Coach Thibs. I'm gonna give you a little bit of grace, E, for being one of the guys that wanted them fired. I'm gonna give you a little bit of grace right now. I'm gonna give you a little grace right now, but shame on you.
Yeah, shame on me, man. I'll take it.
Shout out to everybody tuning in. Appreciate you guys in the chat. You remember hip hop quotables? We got a Thibs quotable. I'm gonna let Iru go ahead and share that information. I mean, pardon me, Shuttle. Go ahead and share that Thibs quotable.
Well, in lieu of blowing the game themselves, Philadelphia, yeah, y'all blew the game. I said it. Now y'all want to go into the whole 2-minute report. Y'all want to file a grievance, et cetera, et cetera. So you know what they do? They ask your boy Coach Thibs about it, and he says, quote unquote, "I'm more concerned with the 46-minute report. I'm locked into game 3. That's where we are."
If that's not a quote, you know what I mean?
That is so New York.
Yeah.
That is so New York. And that's why he's the coach for New York.
Look at our leadership too. Brunson, he even said, like, they asked him, they're talking about that we're the easier team, and you know, we're gonna win the series and this, that, and the other. We're the better team, and they're talking about Embiid and some of the other guys. So they asked Brunson about it. Brunson was like, "Well, what do you want me to say? Like, you know, like if you have to worry about putting those things up on the bulletin board, then you're in the wrong place. You're not ready for this.
Delusional, my guy. Happy birthday. Shout out to you. Salute.
No doubt.
Delusional.
I gotta play this real quick. And then we're gonna talk about it. Let's see.
Tyrese got fouled, a couple times. We just had the same thing happen against Miami with Tyler Hero. That's just unacceptable to, put us in that situation. That's acceptable to lose a game like this, especially in the playoffs. So,
Joel, did you think you guys had set aside if you thought it was a foul? Did you think you guys had gotten a timeout in?
Yes, we did. Everybody on the floor was trying to call a timeout, myself included, Nico, coach on the sideline. But they didn't give it to us. But, forget about the timeout. There's a bunch of fouls. Like I said, that's unacceptable.
You know what's unacceptable?
Bounce back as you guys.
Let me get rid of that real quick. Pardon me 1 second.
Yeah, it's gone.
I'm still learning how to, utilize these functions. But yeah, man, the most unacceptable part of that to me was the fact that look at your man's mannerisms. We've talked about mannerisms, for a couple years with one of our star players. Can you imagine if that was Randle in that same interview saying those same sentiments and not looking into the camera and with your face down, like how we would be killing him?
Yeah.
And has the nerve to say we gonna win the series, and we should be up to, like, I don't know, man. I was already not like super sure that I wanted to pursue Joel Embiid like on this team, mostly because of health reasons. You know what I mean? And he's actually given me, I gain a lot of respect for him for playing through his injury currently and playing the way he's playing. But that right there, talk about crybaby. You see what I mean? You talk about, like, man up, man. You got your teammates looking up to you while you looking down. I think that's soft, man. I don't know. Like Kevin Berger said, the body language. I don't know how you rally behind a guy who is moping with his head down, ain't saying what he's saying with his chest. You know what I mean? Like, you supposed to be like making me believe it. I don't believe it, and it don't sound like you believe it. What was y'all thoughts when y'all see that? Because I was dying. I was like, it's over.
You know the hip hop quotable. We don't believe you. You need more people.
I do.
He's the leader. He's the leader, man.
As far as what else was extremely what was the word you used, Tony? Disappointing or whatever it was that I forget the word you used, but Joel Embiid, listen, you're stone cold lying. You said you went to call a timeout. I don't know if you want to play a clip from that, if you want to bother to pull that up, but I pulled up the clip and I watched it 3 times. Joel Embiid is not attempting to call a timeout. Not at all. So you're on here right now, stone cold lying, telling people he wanted to call a timeout. I wanted to call a timeout. You didn't attempt to call no timeout. You're lying, bro. You're lying.
Everybody was trying to call a timeout.
You're lying. You're lying. All right.
It's like my kids. It's like my kids. I just finished. My kids are in trouble now. One of my sons are in his room. The other one is actually over here behind me, and you better be quiet too before I get them. You know what I'm saying? But the reason why they're in trouble is because like Like when somebody gets in trouble, you always yell at the older one because listen, you the older one, you should know better. You know what I'm saying? Just the gist of it was it's like he's like, yeah, but this guy's saying this and then this guy's saying that. That's the same thing what's happened with Embiid. He said, yeah, but they didn't call a foul. The referees did the same thing that they did in Miami, and you sound like a little kid, fam. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to teach my 10 and my 8-year-olds, how to be men, how to have leadership. You're the 10-year-old. You're not supposed to be saying, oh, but the little guy is telling me this and he's doing this. No, you're supposed to be like you're supposed to be trying to tell your little brother, yo, man, chill, we're gonna get in trouble. Or whatever. You don't want to supposed to take the leadership. Yo, something is getting crazy. Let's calm down. Dad is gonna go wild on us in a second. Let's chill out. You know what I'm saying? This is things that you learn as a child. You know what I'm saying? So here we go. This guy's like a grown ass man. League MVP, all the accolades and stuff like that. Had a great series and up to this point, and now he's sitting there with his hand in his lap. Can't even look up at the cameras and stuff like that. It's ridiculous. And then just look at Maxey compared to him. Maxey got his head up, trying to, he's embarrassed too. But he gotta face the music.
Yes.
Nah, he did it. I mean, to be the younger player, all those kind of things, the less experienced player, to not be the big dog, to be the one that got fouled and didn't have the call for it and lost the ball and he got his shot blocked. Yo, and you could tell it was tough. You could tell it was tough, but he took the music.
It would have sounded so much better if Maxey said, "We still gonna win this series." You know what I mean? Like in the same tone that he took that interview. You know what I mean? He wasn't. You could tell he was hurt. He was crushed. You know what I mean? But he stood and faced the music. You know what I mean? Like head up, chin up. You know what I mean? Everybody staring at him. He could see who's asking what question. Like, come on, Joel. You're not even acknowledging the reporter who's asking the question. You know what I mean? Like that's some soft shit, yo.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
love
like
it.
a father. I would have walked away. So, yo, are you into this interview? You're not into it? Yo, let's go talk to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would have did. Like what do we need quotes from this guy? You can't even lift his head up. So the report is gonna be, listen, Embiid didn't want to have an interview because he's too soft. He's in there crying. We couldn't get a word in for him. So that would have been the headlines, because that would have been in the New York headlines. Julius Randle got his head down in his lap, just like you said, got his head in his lap, and then all Twitter would have been crazy. Everybody would have went crazy. You know what I'm saying? So, that's the difference between what we do here and what other fan bases and stuff do, man. So I'm glad we got the guys we have, man.
Facts. Shuttle, pardon me for cutting you off too. You know what I mean? If you want to continue.
Nah, better them than us.
Yes. Let's talk about next game a little bit. In reference, honestly, to the way this game ended, the 2-minute report, the grievance filed, them being at home. I expect the officiating to be a little bit more. I'm not even gonna say lopsided, but I feel like it's gonna be tougher officiated for us moving forward, especially this next game in particular. Maybe it settles down, evens out in game 4. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Do you expect any type of reaction from the refs based off of the grievance? You know what I mean? The 2-minute report, knowing they messed up. Do you think they officiate a little bit towards Philly going home next game?
What do you think, man?
Hey, listen, I'm a conspiracy theorist, so if you ask me, the league kind of steers all of this stuff anyway. You need more games because more games equals more money. So, I'm just going to just leave it there.
Yeah, I agree with that. What were you going to say, Tom?
No, I was going to say, if I'm Tom Thibodeau, whether I believe it or not, I'm telling my team this from the rip. Hey, expect not to get the calls tonight. You know what I mean? Expect to have to finish the play, whether you get fouled or not. You know what I mean?
Don't breathe on them. They're gonna call it.
Yes. Oh, well, I don't know if Thibs will say that. being the defensive mind that he is, he'll probably be like, well, let me argue the defensive stuff, but on offense, you know what I mean? I need y'all playing through it. Play it through it. I mean, that's what I would tell my team, just knowing, hey, keep that in the back of your mind. number one, you got to finish the play regardless. You know what I mean? So no complaining. But let them know it's probably gonna be a little bit tougher moving forward.
But if I can add to that, like just knowing what this team has been doing, especially this year with this group group has never got flustered because of officiating or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? That this team, and also too, let's say if Hartenstein gets in foul trouble, whatever, we got guys, we got Jericho Sims, we got Precious and stuff like that, and then plus I want to say Embiid was doing a little touchy feely pushing and stuff like that. Guys are doing like them little elbow checks, and you see Oubre throwing elbows when guys are going through and all that type of stuff. We don't do that. We don't do that. So we don't have to worry about getting called for those little extra stuff. And like one more thing to say,
Hart a little bit. Josh Hart a little bit.
Yeah, Josh Hart. Well, Josh Hart is probably like our most fiery player, so he has a little bit, but still not to the level these guys are doing. So I mean, just from that perspective, man, we don't have to worry about it because we just don't play that way. We don't play that style. Like what I was saying, like Embiid, he likes to put hands on, like those guys like to do that. I forgot what I was gonna say, but I mean, there's something else I want to attach to that. But that's basically it, man. So we don't have to worry about that because we don't play that way.
Well, that's the thing. I think we play like that, but it's not. It's more of a natural thing for us because, right. like for what I noticed with Philly is they were consciously trying to rough us up. You know what I mean? Consciously trying to add that extra physicality. Where for us, that physicality is a natural thing. You know what I mean? Go ahead. It sounds like
physicality. I was trying to get that word, physicality. They keep saying, "Oh, we got to add more physicality." The Knicks are just playing hard. The Knicks are just playing with effort. The Knicks are not playing with physicality. We just playing with effort. You know what I'm saying? So they're using the wrong word as a team in their meetings and stuff like that, because the first thing they say is, "Oh, we got to match their physicality. We got to be more physical. We got to." That's all thing they keep saying. So that's what they're saying in the locker room. The Knicks don't say that. The Knicks, we never have to coach effort with this squad. So we just play with effort. So if they were saying we need to match their effort, then I would get it. You know what I'm saying? But they keep saying physicality, so we're in their heads. You know what I'm saying? They're dreaming about us. Of course they're dreaming about us as a playoffs, but I think they're in the bed, like that. They're like, oh my God, I thought we were back in the game again. You know what I'm saying? That's where they at right now.
Oh man. Oh, nah, I feel you, bro. But and the funny thing is, it's been, this ain't the first team that we've heard that from. You know what I mean? Like, granted, we in the playoffs now, so we're gonna hear it a little bit more. But we've been hearing that all year. You know what I mean? I listened to the post game and the pregame interviews from other teams' coaches, and that's one of the first things they say. Oh, we got to match their physicality. You know what I mean? Like it's like almost a cliche thing, but they know that, like you saying, Eru, our effort is there constantly. It's, you know what I mean? Like it's not, that's not going to change ever. You know what I mean? We may not hit our shots. We may not be shooting a high percentage, but that goes to the fact that the main reason we've won these games is offensive rebounds. You know what I mean? And that's an effort thing. That's a conscious effort thing. Joel's the biggest guy on the court, but he's not boxing out. You letting guys like 6'4" Josh Hart come in and average, I think he's averaging 14 rebounds or 13 rebounds, some crazy number.
Yeah, it's not just offensive though, defensive too. As soon as we get that defensive rebound, we flying down the court. Josh Hart and Brunson, as soon as they even, matter of fact, I can't just say one person. Whoever if they get the rebound, that ball is just gone, and they flying up the court trying to take advantage of that. So, like we're on their ass, man. We're outworking them in all aspects of the game, and that's why we're winning, because their two best players are on. Embiid is supposed to got bad knees, but he's still getting his numbers. He's averaging 34 points per game this year, but Maxey is getting 10 points over his average. So they're playing their A games, and we still beating them.
Yeah, and I mean, and this is a great segue. I mean, our best guy is not playing well or not playing efficient. You know what I mean? Like the rebounds, I'm loving. The assists, I'm loving. You know what I mean? But he hasn't really had a good shooting game yet. I mean, not even close, to be honest. It was like
historically bad, actually.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that being said, I think he's played his worst games all season against Philly, right? As far as efficiency. Now we've won 3 out of 4 going into the playoffs, 2 in a row now. So it's like it's hard for me to be concerned because we've figured them out all year, include you know what I mean, like even with Brunson playing bad all year. But I am a little concerned with Brunson. You know, when you add the regular season and the playoffs, he really hasn't had. He might have had one efficient game all year against them. What's your level of concern for Brunson, or the Knicks' success? Can we continue to win against this team without him playing his best?
Well, I'm looking at his numbers. He's shooting 29%, which is crazy. I'm 16% from 3. So if I could throw it out there, I think he's going to have his first big game the next one, and we're going to beat them by a lot. Once we get to Philly, I think.
I mean, I thought that was going to be. I said the same thing, but about game 2, and I hope that's the case. But now, you know what I mean, it's more of a sample size. It's like, maybe this is his kryptonite. You know what I mean? Like this is the team that he's. I mean, not even maybe. The numbers say they've played him the best, or he's played the worst against them. So now I'm, you know what I mean. So I feel you in your optimism. So I mean, I guess you're saying you're not concerned.
Not too much, but I mean, they do have taller players that they put on them and whatever. They can keep swapping taller players on them. So Brunson got to work a little bit harder. But I just think they're worried. Well, once they get to Philly, they're gonna get their Thundercat symbol's gonna go up and they're gonna get energy. But I think they're gonna think that's what's gonna happen. But the Knicks are gonna show up and still be coming with the same energy. And I think it's gonna shell shock them. And I think we're gonna take game 3.
I don't doubt it. Yeah. But I am concerned. I agree with you. If Brunson has a great efficient game, I think we smack him. You know what I mean? Like I think we smack him. We've smacked them already once this year by 30 plus points. I'm not saying it'll be that huge, but I could see a 15-point game, a 15-point blowout, or something like that. My concern is how many games can we continue to overcome if Brunson continues to shoot like this against them. I'm a little concerned. I would be lying if I didn't admit it, because I feel like if he plays well, I mean, it could be a sweep. I don't know. Like again, let's be honest. Josh Hart he's looking like the Josh Hart that came in the trade. Those end of the regular season shooting. I think he was shooting over like almost 50%. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like now he coming in pull up threes in transition. You know what I mean? For 2 for 1. It's like again, I love it. I don't know if Josh Hart can continue to do that. So again, I am a little concerned. I ain't going front. But if Brunson brings his A game, I agree. It's a smackage package.
I mean, for me, Bogdanovich hasn't had a breakout game. He's been okay, but he hasn't had the type of game he's potentially capable of having. OG hasn't had the type of game he's potentially capable of having. You know what I mean? Dante's been pretty solid. Hartenstein gave us the game he's capable of having, and he could. I mean, this is what he was averaging when Mitch was out and he became the starter. So, I'm going to repeat it again. I feel like 2 through 8, the floor is so high for those guys that anybody is capable and multiple people are capable. And it's like, to me, Josh Hart is kind of like playing above his level. But I feel like Deuce has shown us enough. Bogdanovich has done it enough. OG's done enough. Hartenstein's, like, all these guys have shown, too many games where they're capable of big games. And yeah, of course, Brunson's, the 28 per game guy, and he's been so amazing all year. You just kind of want and expect him to have a great game, but I don't know, B. I just feel like the rest of the players are so capable that it doesn't really have me at a place of concern. I am more concerned about the defense against Maxey. And that is where I need to see Coach Thibs step it up and come up with a strategy to get the ball out of his hands. They had a play, and Hartenstein said it at the end of the game. They knew what to expect. They knew what he was going to do, and they had the defense set up for him to do exactly what he did and to get that block. I need a little bit more successful strategy like that throughout the game. I need to see Maxey score like 22 points and shoot inefficiently. I need something like that. And let Embiid get whatever he gets.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah, the second half, game plan, it changed. Tom Thibodeau went back to closing the door around the foul line. So as soon as the guy, Embiid or Maxey, as soon as they try to make a move, we sent two guys to close the door on them. So that kind of confused them a little bit, and that's what helped us to scramble towards the end. So I think if we could start that off there, but the issue is the Knicks always have a problem catching the shooters in the corners and stuff. So that opens up that problem. So we just got to see, because I think for the most part, Tom Thibodeau is saying, okay, let Embiid and Maxey beat us, and we basically locking down the rest of the squad, man. So, but we'll see what changes are being made. But definitely, that's one of them there.
One of the Nick Nurse has always been known. He's been known more as an offensive coach, right, than a defensive coach. I know he's always had a good defense.
I would say defense.
I
would say defense,
or at least offensive adjustments. You know what I mean? I think he's gotten credit for. I'm referencing Toronto, obviously, more than this team. I lost my train of thought.
Well, just looking at their roster, they do have Maxey and Embiid, but they still got Tobias Harris. They got what's the other cat? They have other Batum. They got guys that could score, so they could run other stuff to get the ball moving, but they don't do that. They just want to run that 2-man game with Embiid and Maxey, and that's it. I think that's to their detriment.
I remember what I was actually gonna say, and because Philly fans, they've been calling. Number one, they've been calling to sit Tobias Harris out for years, but so I'm gonna leave him out of it. But they've been calling for this rookie council all season long,
right?
And at times, I mean, I'm familiar with Kenyon Martin Jr., who's on that roster as well, who they don't utilize. Now, granted, I think Martin's like this might be his third or fourth year. Obviously, the young other kid's a rookie. I think he's an older rookie, but he's a rookie. Do you think their lack of experience is why they, like Nick Nurse, hasn't even attempted to try anything, or maybe the fact that the games have been close, maybe they feel winnable. He don't need to make any type of adjustments. Because let me tell you, the Philly fans, they mad at Oubre and his minutes first production, Batum his minutes first production, obviously Tobias Harris. Yeah, I mean, all these guys high minutes, low production. You know what I mean? 5 points, 4 points, 3 points. Even Lowry was on a list as far as what he does. Do you think it's the inexperience of those younger guys? Because I think those are the guys we have more trouble with. You know what I mean? Athletic, young athletic defenders. You know what I mean? And guys who you talk about matching out effort. You know what I mean? Like those are the guys that would come in, and it wouldn't be them playing harder, because those are those type of players that, like, you know what I mean? They come in and they give that effort off jump. It's not about, like, you could see Philly, they're trying to be tougher than they are. You know what I mean? They're trying to be more physical. And it don't, you could tell it looks forced. That's what I've been trying to say. It's forced. You know what I mean? Like, it's not natural. They got two guys on their bench that I think naturally bring that, and they not seeing a lick of minutes, and the type of guys that do hurt the Knicks. You know what I mean? Like,
these are the type of players that when the Knicks get a 15-20 point lead early in game 3, those guys will come in. He's like, all right, we got to try something different. Or maybe in game 4, But if I'm Nick Nurse, I'm probably not going to those guys right now. It was the same story here. Why isn't Obi Toppin playing? You got to get somebody younger and more athletic. You got to that was the same story we had here. But you got an All NBA player. I mean, Tobias is not All NBA, but for the most part, he's pretty versatile. Shoots decent, plays decent defense, decent rebounder, and he has, the veteran experience. So it's not going to be easy to take him out for guys that really haven't done it, that maybe aren't showing it in practice.
And Oubre has brought that to them throughout the season, not necessarily against us.
In this series, well, while he might not be producing on offense, he's largely defending Brunson, and Brunson's shooting historically low. So, I mean, Oubre is the last guy you should be thinking about taking out, from where I see it.
That's a fact too.
Once they start talking about, hey, we need to bring in the 11th and 12th guy off the bench, man, you dead. You dead. Because like you made a point just now, Kelly Oubre. That's the guy I was trying to get. Kelly Oubre. I'm looking at his stats here. He's averaging, what is this? 2 blocks per game, 2.5 steals per game. So he's basically locking Brunson down. Between him and Batum, these guys are doing a really good job on the main player. So they're doing their job. So this has to do with something else. Something else is missing. You can't. To me, you can't put it on Tobias neither, because Tobias is giving you 9 rebounds per game. So he's at least attempting to play above his head. You know what I'm saying? But Nick Nurse, in my opinion, man, he needs to figure something else out. Because I mean, you can't just keep putting the ball in Maxi's hand and just letting him go crazy. He will score, but when you need the other guys to score, they've just been standing around. Like what's that Beetlejuice meme? They say, what you doing, man? Nothing, just standing around. That's what the other guys are doing. Just standing around, not doing nothing. Kyle Lowry's their 3rd leading scorer, man. I'm looking at the stats: 13 points per game. They're dead.
I love the energy.
Hey, listen, it is what it is. I don't want to help him out too much. I don't want to give him too much ideas.
Maybe it's maybe I'm giving them fake information. You know what I mean? see if they.
Yeah, you got. I don't know why they should be running more ISOs for Tobias Harris.
Decoy, something, send him back door, do something to get him open. What's going on here? Got Kelly Oubre. We giving him free game. I mean, like, what's going on here? It's like so easy for them to get, because the Knicks don't have the luxury to have guys that have scored 20 points per game in the NBA. We don't have that luxury. We have Brunson.
Yes, we do.
Well, Devo, this year
Bogdanovich was averaging 20 before he got to this team, and DiVincenzo's been scoring 20 a game since Randle and in the trade and all of that happened.
Yeah.
So
if we was running stuff for Bogey, man, they wouldn't be able to guard us, because Bogey's been kind of doing too much, like driving to the basket. If you would just give him like those shots like around the foul line kind of thing, he would get that. That's how he gets his points. The jump shots right there along the foul line. As soon as he gets his hands, I mean that jump shot going, then he starts coming out. So oh man, we haven't played our best game yet, man.
And that's the great part.
I think they have.
That's at least they're stars. At least they're stars.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Thibs and the disrespect that he's been getting. Him and Doc Rivers, I don't even know why they got these two guys like in the same mention of any type of category, but Thibs won, unfortunately, with the most votes of players that don't want to play for, wouldn't want to play for him. Doc Rivers was a far distant second. So, like, it wasn't even close, but he was second. So that pissed me off by itself. Like, knowing what Thibs has done. Just talking about the Knicks, this year and his time with the Knicks, knowing what he has done, and look at what Doc Rivers has done, historically. How could they even be in the same category? But this is 3 years in a row that Thibs is voted number 1 least coach that they will want to play for. To me, it's disrespectful. But at the same time, I'm starting to realize these players are soft. And that's ultimately what it boils down to. They don't want to put in the work that they have to do under Thibs. They don't want to sacrifice that do the sacrifice that they might have to do under Thibs. You know what I mean? Like these guys are really it's all about individual. It's not about the team. You know what I mean? It's all about I'm the star, so I want to do things my way. You know what I mean? Like you look at with Durant or Kyrie or whoever it was that, oh, we don't need a coach, that type of mentality. You know what I mean? I'm a superstar, so I could win off talent. You know what I mean? But, and not to mention the fact that not only do you have to be built to play in New York, as we've seen, like there's a certain type of character that you got to have, a certain kind of work ethic that you got. It's tailor made. Like everything you say about New York, playing in New York, I think the same holds true for playing for Thibs, which is why he's the perfect coach for us. You know what I mean? Like, so I think people are scared to play for New York, and they're scared to play for Thibs. They scared of the pressure that comes with playing for New York. I don't want to be the savior. You know what I mean? It's not about you being the savior, but it's about the team. You know what I mean? Changing the narrative. And Thibs has done that. But 3 years in a row, bro, knowing what he's done, when every player that has played for him consistently says, I will run through a wall for him. You know what I mean? Like every player knows they really want to play as much as they can anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I just don't get it. Is there any type of explanation? Is it the combination of Thibs and New York? That is that why?
You
Is
know,
it his reputation of what tough practices? I mean,
can I tell you a story? Can I tell you a story, Tone? E, can I tell you a little story?
yeah, do that. I'm gonna look for this video I've been trying to find to clip. But go ahead. I'm here.
I'm gonna tell you guys a little story, man. Like, I went from New York and went to a historically black college and university, Hampton University in Virginia, right? And I gotta tell you, I did not know the people in New York were hated so much until I went to this college. It was like every city, Richmond, Virginia, Little Rock, Arkansas, Detroit, Texas. You talk about Detroit versus everybody, it was everybody versus New York when I was in college, a long time before that thing came up. So people want to hate everything New York, especially when New York is doing well. Nobody likes New York rappers. Nobody likes New York people. You don't like the New York Knicks team. You know what I mean? Like, yo, New Yorkers are too aggressive. They think they're the best. It's like there's no reason to want to like anything New York. And I think that's part of what it is. It's a bias against New York. People are just voting against New York. That's what I think.
I agree with that.
I got some quotables. We talked about quotables earlier. I got some more quotables from players on the current New York Knicks roster. If it's not too early for that yet, Tone. I know you said you had a video you wanted to play. You're muted. All right, cool. So, in response to Tom Thibs being the third year winning the Coach I Don't Want to Play For award, let's go to the quote from Dante DiVincenzo, a.k.a. my guy, 3 Vincenzo. What you think of that name, E? 3 Vincenzo? You like it?
I love it, yeah.
He says, BS. That's all I have to say. A lot of guys don't play for Thibs. I play for Thibs. On the outside, looking in, you have a certain viewpoint. When you are inside and play for Thibs, like I said, it's BS. Josh Hart, man, these dudes soft. Man, these dudes soft. Listen,
yeah,
that's it.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And Tone, you mentioned that. these dudes are soft. And this is why you want, like, and it's one thing to be a soft player on the court, but it's another thing to be soft between the ears. You understand? And yo, that's why Deuce is doing so well. That's why when he cannot play for days and then just get called in, and he does what he does because he's mentally strong. That's it.
It makes me laugh because, like, you know, just taking a look at us right now. Like right now, I'm talking with my hands like this, you know, and then, you know, Shell's doing his thing like this, whatever. He got his hoodie over his head like
New
that.
York.
I got my hat naturally on a little tilt, whatever. You see the way that Tony got his hat and stuff like that. That's why they hate us. You know, you know what I'm saying? Because it's just like this is how we are. This is New York stuff. They hate everything about us because they don't get it. They don't understand why the girls like us. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand why we talk like this and they talk like this. They don't understand it. You know, they don't get it, man. So like just like the coaching stuff, like if you're a winner and like you know what it takes to win because you've won before, that's a big important thing. You know, these guys, Brunson, DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, they've won before, and maybe not in the NBA. DiVincenzo won with the Bucks, you know, so he knows what it is the NBA, but they won in college though.
Mhm.
You know, they won in college. They won 2 chips in college, right? Also too, high school, Brunson won one in high school. I'm not sure what Josh Hart and DiVincenzo did.
DiVincenzo too.
He won in high school. That's what I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
these guys,
Because he's one of the few that has all 3. DiVincenzo.
look at that. So I mean, they know what it is to win. So when they see a guy like Thibs, all they see is somebody that's in the trenches with me, and this is what we're gonna do to win. You know, and then like the message is never going to you know, disrupt what's happening out there. How you deliver the message, as long as you receive the message. You know, so our players receive the message, and they don't need Tom Thibodeau to be cursing them out and all that. Cause that's what our fans like to say too. Yo, we need somebody to curse the guys out. No, we don't. We need guys that don't need to be cursed out. You know what I'm saying? That maybe they might be the ones cursing out other guys too on the team. You know, and that's why. Let me throw Melo under the bus. I've been waiting to do that. His podcast, they asked him, yo, like what team would you play for currently? That's what they asked him, right? So he said, you know, I'll play for the Knicks, but he would have to have a conversation with Tom Thibodeau or whatever, because some things need to be hashed out before. You see what I'm saying? That's why Melo never won nothing. Well, he won in college, but that's why he didn't win in the NBA, because he's waiting for, like, you have to play a certain way with him kind of thing. You know, he doesn't want to get in the trenches and have to hear all that constant stuff because he thinks that he already got it together, and that's the issue. You know, that's
a great point. And Melo's my guy, and
cool.
but I watched it too, and I was like when he said the Knicks, and then you know he had to throw that little tidbit in, and why not specify? You know what I mean? Like if you're gonna say that, why leave it for us to kind of decipher
open-ended
what that conversation is? Like, what you mean? Like, you know what I mean? Because for all we know, maybe that's not what he was saying, but it sounded like that's what he was saying. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't want to have 2 practices or whatever. Like, it's up to our imagination. So I didn't like that either.
Yeah,
we know what he went through with George Karl, which does seem overboard, but we also know. Well, I also know that when he came to the league and he got with Jordan Brand and he went to go spend time with Jordan, that he was like, oh, how he thought he knew the game, but MJ was putting them onto game. And, you know, I'm not going to say he never had someone like that, you know, but like, man, if he would have went to that Detroit team and got picked number 2, and he would have had a coach like Larry Brown and had veteran guys like Chauncey Billups
in their prime,
still at the top of their game, and had a guy like Chauncey Billups, Rip Hamilton, Ben Wallace, guys that would have been like, yo, we watch film here, you know, we practice here. That's what we do here. You know what I mean? It would have instilled a whole different kind of approach transitioning into the league. And I think that, you know, he was great when he came into the league. Let's respect it. But at the same time, you got low expectations, and you don't have like the top tier type of leadership. Like, he needed championship leadership.
Yeah.
You know, right? And you know, he didn't get it.
All right, let me see if I could figure this out again. Boom. All right, that worked.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
I know,
Yo,
guys. I know.
we have delusional Knicks fan, but then we just have delusional,
But,
and that's this guy. This guy's super delusional.
this guy just
but
might be drunk, man.
let's hear it. Let's hear what he got to say, because some of it is
And
endearing.
I'm gonna preface this by saying I haven't seen it yet.
Me
All
either.
right, here we go. Here we
He's
go.
our
Boom.
defensive
That's
coordinator
true.
here in
He
Boston.
was. Yeah.
And now he's
Was
bringing
he on
this-
the
Yeah, he was on our championship. He was our defensive coach. This is just the mentality he brings to New York, and you can see how it feeds into the players. This is who he's been in Chicago, and this is who he is in the Knicks. I think he gets a bunch of players that fits his personality.
Yeah.
And they play hard, and they're gonna grind it out, and they're gonna give you everything they got. He plays Josh Hart 48 minutes a night. I mean, what did he play? He played 48 again tonight. He hasn't come out the game. Thibs will run you into the ground. I will tell you that. But
So what did he bring to your championship team? How long did it take for you guys to buy into what he was selling?
no, he's a coach that demands respect, and you know, out the gate. You know how many days I watched him and Kevin Garnett argue, because Kevin Garnett is a strong personality
Yes,
guy,
he
and
is.
so is Thibs.
Yeah.
And when I seen Thibs not
Okay,
back
so
down
Thibs
to him,
is another one who did not play. So, right? He didn't bring
No, he
any
didn't.
cachet.
No,
Doc
no.
played. Doc was
Doc
pretty
played,
good.
but Thibs demanded respect.
Okay.
And he brought his personality, and it flowed through our team because he was a defensive guy. He was a hard-nosed, hard-hat guy, and it flowed into our team. And that's what you see from the Knicks. They're taking on his personality. And most
All right. I think that's enough.
I'm mad that he stopped him from talking about the KG interaction. I'm mad we didn't get that.
I was too, and he never got to get back into it. He asked them what what kind of things did they argue about, but I don't think when he answers the question, I don't think it was what he was about to say. You know what I mean? Like it looked like he was about to get into some stuff, and then he also said it's not my story to tell. So maybe one day, that stuff will come out. But I mean, the great stuff in that, obviously assistant coach under Doc Rivers on that team that won the chip. But the points that he made, this is something that I think I had to come to learn and figure out, and a lot of us had. But we got it. He has to have his type of players here. Or you have to, just like he says, be willing to buy in to his philosophy. And we've seen it with the guys who are no longer here. And this is not me talking about RJ or Quickly, more so with Obi, Cam Reddish, just guys that didn't want to buy in whatever way, form, shape it was. Some guys wanted to be a star as opposed to being a team guy. Sacrifice. But these are the things that you bring his type of guys here, and it's like we know it as Knicks fans. It's a totally different thing compared to when he's got to deal with certain guys here and there that don't fit his philosophy, don't want to buy into what he's teaching. I love that clip. Like when I was watching it, like I'm obviously I don't like Paul Pierce either. Cringe up every time I see him. But when he talks about Thibs, man, you can see, and this is as an assistant, but you can see what he meant to him as an assistant coach, but he could also directly correlate what he's doing now with the team he has now and how the players go ahead and fit his philosophy. Buy into what he's saying. So I wanted to highlight that. What y'all guys think about what he said? Even saying he will run you into the ground, I didn't like it, but like obviously the narrative is coming from players that have played for him. So I don't know how they only hear that part and don't hear all the praise that he's given.
Can I jump in here? Can I jump in here
Absolutely.
first, D?
Yeah.
All right. The first thing I want to do is I want to give another quote. Bogdanovich. If you are a player, you want to play as much as you can. So I don't get the other players who voted against Thibs, whatever. Like, I don't know. I mean, I played high school varsity. Like, I never wanted to come out the game, ever. Ever. You know what I mean? Either the coach saw I was gassed or I might have been really gassed. And very, very few occurrences I'd ask out of the game. But I was in great shape. You're in the NBA, you should be in great shape. I don't understand why more players don't play 40 minutes a game. Wilt Chamberlain played 48 minutes every game for the entire season. I think more than once. Like, he actually averaged 48.2 minutes a game because he played some overtimes. So,
Yeah,
I mean, no private jets, no trainers. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't care who he was playing against. He was playing the whole game. So this whole running into the ground thing, I'm gonna let you jump in there right there, E.
And I was just gonna say that Wilt Chamberlain, I think that season they played like an extra game for some reason. You know, so that's why he had a little extra more than 48. So I mean, that's kind of crazy, man. But yeah, man.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So and a couple of things that I gotta unpack from the comments.
Yeah.
The first thing is the players respect Thibs, right? After I'd like to take a poll of the Boston players that won that championship when he was there and see, like, yo, if you had to play for Thibs or you had to play for Doc Rivers, who would you play for?
Yeah.
Because low key, I kind of feel like after seeing the Doc Rivers debacles, that more credit for that championship might be deserved to Thibs than Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Put that in your pipe and smoke it.
Not only have I thought that part before about Thibs' credit with the championship. Not only have I thought that part before, but your sentiment of asking specifically between those two as your options, would it change? You know what I mean? Like that, I definitely thought that earlier today. Like, because that pissed me off. Like, he got more votes than Doc, knowing like Doc has blown all these 3-1 leads. You know what I mean? Knowing
because the decision, the decision why they are making that is not because it's not based on actually winning. It's about, you know, how our practices are gonna go, or, you know, how much days off do you get in between games to just do whatever you want to do. So there might be a reputation. I was like, yeah, you play with Doc, he's a player's coach. He'll let you, you know, fly home for a day and then come back. You know, Kenny Smith was talking to some wild stories. He was on a team and with Denver, with Mark Jackson. I saw the podcast and he was saying, yeah, like, yo, we didn't even practice between games. Sometimes we had 2 days off between games. He said, y'all lived in Houston. I fly to Houston. I fly back to Denver. We don't even practice. I just meet him back at the game. So if Doc Rivers is letting players do things along those type of lines, then, you know, Coach Thibs is not allowing that level of autonomy for you to just run the streets to just, you know, be and do whatever. Like, you know, he's more hands-on. And with these days, with all the distractions that are out there, yo, coaches need to be hands-on.
Yeah. And as a coach, knowing the work that he puts in as a coach, and he expects you to put in the same amount of work as a player that I'm putting in as a coach. You know what I mean? These guys are soft, man. They what do you mean y'all don't do load management? Nah, I don't want to come to New York. You know what I mean? I don't want to go play for Thibs. I need every third game off for something. You know what I mean? Like, I need to rest my body. Nah, you don't fit this culture.
We ain't about that life.
Yeah, I love it, man. Because when he was talking about you know, he was about to get into that KG story with Thibs. I would like to have, like you guys were saying, I would like to have heard a little bit more than that, because I'm quite sure the conversation is kind of like, all right, Thibs, man, come on, man, what the fuck? And then Thibs was like, yo, man, but this is me to do like this. You know what you want to do? You want to do something? Let's do it. You know, Tom Thibodeau is one of those guys that will fight you, especially when he was younger. You know what I'm saying? Even now, like, you know, that you could tell that. Matter of fact, that there was a couple games when he was in Minnesota, I think, where he actually was on the court challenging players to go into the back and to fights during the game. You know what I'm saying? So Tom Thibodeau's just built different. So you can imagine when stuff like that, guys get into their things. If you need to have a coach on the side to say something, somebody got to say something. Even when Doc Rivers is doing something, whatever, I'm quite sure Doc and Thibs probably had some closed door arguments plenty of times. Whatever, man, you need that. You need guys to just be able to say something. I just think that the whole team is like that. I think I'm looking down the line. Josh Hart, Jalen, DiVincenzo, Hartenstein, all these guys. I think if something's going on, somebody's going to say something. And the proof to that is look at Julius Randle. Up until he got hurt, Julius Randle had no outbursts all year. Rewind to before. Remember, IQ kept coming and grabbing his hands and stuff, and Julius is like, "Get off me!" And Julius is arguing. This season, you didn't see that at all. You know what I'm saying? Because the leadership on the team, they're so focused now that they train for that already. Brunson don't all these guys don't play into those things. So there's no room for that. So Julius didn't even argue at all. There was some times where he could have imploded and he kind of just like laughed and walked away kind of thing and just got back into the basketball. And I just think that's what it is, man. We just have the right group together, man. Among, like I said, tip guys that took on his personality. I think these guys already had the personality and they came here and that's just what it is.
Well, I agree with that 100% too, but because Thibs identifies the type of, you know what I mean? Like he knows, look at Deuce McBride. Like that was the talk out of that draft. We didn't really know who he was, but the talk was Thibs wanted him. And then even the fact that we knew Thibs wanted him, Thibs didn't, get the okay, all right, we'll draft him, and then you automatically in my circle. Nope. You still gotta work your way up, work your way around, show that you buying in, show that you know what I mean? You getting all these numbers in the G League. All right. You come up to the big league, you still might not play. You know what I mean? But keep practicing hard. Keep challenging in practice. When you get your opportunity, you produce. Guess what? Your opportunities increase now. You know what I mean? The trust increases. But people, man, again, I'm just gonna stay with that sentiment. These guys are soft and they don't want to work.
And when there's players that are not soft, and you look at these players and you see how they play with Thibs and what their relationship is now, still today, and what it was when they were players. I'm talking about Jimmy Butler, Luol Deng, Kirk Heinrich, a Joakim Noah.
That's exactly where I was going, Shuttle.
Even though you don't want to bring up Noah because of what happened with the Knicks, but when you look at who he was as a player for the Bulls, he was a player. Wow, this guy plays tough. This guy plays hard. He plays the minutes. Like those are players back then that I was saying, man, I wish we had those type of guys on the Knicks.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, you kind of segue right into one of the points I was trying to get to. I mean, we'll start with the Knicks, and then we could dig outside the Knicks. But how many players, whether it's right now today or just in current, just in general, have had their best seasons, best years, best performances under Thibs? I mean, we got Julius Randle, right? We got Jalen Brunson. You got recent acquisition Precious Achua, who is not even playing right now, but you can still be like, yo, he's had the best season of his career. Obviously, Deuce McBride, it took time for him to build to that, but look at where he is now. I don't think any of us really saw that as far as the efficiency, being ready, not scared, you know what I mean? Ready for the moment, all that. To me, I attribute all that to Thibs. DiVincenzo having his best season of his career. Josh Hart currently having his best season of his career. Like, and then if you want to say, oh, that's just the Knicks, it's timing, it just happened to form that way. All right, let's talk about Minnesota and Karl Anthony Towns. At that time, currently, I mean, at that time, the best seasons of his career under Thibs. You know what I'm saying? You go back to the Bulls and the maturation of Jimmy Butler. Not saying Deuce is gonna become Jimmy Butler, but this is what like he went through that same process that Deuce went through. You know what I mean? Of being a rookie, not really playing, earning his stripes, getting it in practice. But yeah, and then when you go to the Bulls, it mirrors the Knicks as far as how many players you could start naming that had their best seasons of their career under Thibs. Nate Robinson went from the Knicks and then in Chicago somehow became like an actual point guard. You know what I mean? Like
he saved them.
you know what I mean? Like
Thibs. Yep.
Kurt Hyman, to your credit, Shuttle. You know what I mean? Like the whole Bulls roster as far as Joakim Noah, Dang, Rose. I mean, but all these guys had the best seasons of their career under Coach Thibodeau. Yet these soft players don't want to go through the rigors. You know what I mean? Don't want to put in the work. They want a player's coach who's gonna be their friend, not a coach who's gonna make them put in that work. Say, hey, that the foul shot, you know, hasn't been dropping. Let's, you know what I mean? And Thibs probably don't even tell you, go, you know what I mean? The foul shot ain't working. Go, you know what I mean? Go put in some work. He'll be in his office just looking to see. Oh, all right. You putting in that work. Remember he called out RJ? RJ hasn't really been putting in the time that he was earlier in the year.
The year before.
And he noticed it. You know what I mean?
That's why he's not here. You know, that's the underlying thing there. People were saying that, oh, why did they get rid of RJ, this and the other? You see why. You know, you don't got to tell OG none of that stuff. You don't got to tell none of our players nothing. All of our guys are self-made players. These guys, they know what they need to do to get it popping. They don't need the coach to do that. You know, I just want to say something. Some of these guys, and the thing we're talking about, Julius Randle having to get his mental worked on. Or sometimes men got to go on the side and they got to get themselves together. Man, you know what that sounds like? It sounds like Embiid crying in his lap in the post game. You know what I'm trying to say? You know, he's been an MVP in his league. You know what I'm saying? So now Philadelphia at this point in time, they need Embiid to get his mental together, to develop that and this, that, and the other. That's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you have the right team around you, guys, you work all that stuff out throughout the season. You know, when stuff happens, listen, man, this is what you do, and as a team, you work it out together. That's what it has to be. If you start and end with, oh, you know, I need to get my mental together, you know, that's you know, guys like Melo, you know, like players, coaches, you not now you're in that realm like you're talking about. That's not the right way to go about things, man. You know, if you look around the league, there's never been a coach really that's been like player coach kind of thing. You know, guys, you know, everything's always been locked in. You know, you have to lock in if you want to win.
And then even some of the ones that had that perspective of, oh, he's a player's coach. He's a player's coach. I'll give you a prime example, like Ty Lue, right? That you hear that around the league. Oh, he's a player's coach. The players want to play for him. But you see that quick turn he did this offseason? When he's referencing, all right, well, some things got to change around here as far as like guys putting in the work. You know what I mean? Like, so even him, and I'm not saying he was like a walkover, but even him, he realized, all right, I got to tighten my stance. You know what I mean? I can't be so loosey with these guys. You know, as far basically referencing Kawhi, he's gonna have to play more games. You know what I mean? These guys got to play more games together, like that. But realizing it and then making the adjustment
and put the word on the street.
Yeah, and holding, you know what I mean, like himself accountable, but also his players. You know what I mean? Like, but a lot of coaches don't have that. You know what I mean? They're not built to, you know what I mean, take the leadership role. You know what I mean? They want to cower around players. Oh, I don't know if I should tell him. Should I tell him he should put in the work? Nah, Thibs is gonna either tell you or just look at you not doing it and bring the next guy up. He's putting in the work in practice. He's putting in the extra time.
And that gets into the whole narrative of, well, you know, the coach didn't talk to me. I didn't really know. Evan Fournier, right? I didn't really know. I don't know. They didn't talk to me. I don't know. Well, listen, what's understood doesn't need to be explained.
Yeah. Shout out to the other kid too that went to the Lakers. What's his name? Everybody was saying that, you know.
Yeah, my guy Cam.
Yeah, Cam Reddish.
Mhm.
Just tell me what to do. Tell me what to do.
Yeah.
Go to the Lakers. That's what you do. You know what I'm saying? Go to the Lakers and let LeBron say, "Oh, he's playing so well with us right now. I believe in him." That's what you want? Okay. What are they doing over there in LA?
Some people want the truth and then want to implement what they gotta do to make things better. And some people just want to be told, "Hey, you're doing great. Keep it up." You know what I mean?
Thanks,
Pat on the
coach.
back. They don't want no critique. You know what I mean? They don't want the knowledge of what it takes to get better. But man, shout out to Thibs. This is my coach. Give this man an extension. He don't need no more coach of the year and awards and accolades outside of this organization. I think the accolades are within the organization. You know what I mean? Like, you've changed the culture here. You know what I mean? Like, you brought it back to my youth when you know what I mean? Like, the Knicks were fighters night in and night out. Whether we won or lost, you knew we wasn't gonna quit. You know what I mean? We wasn't gonna give up. We was gonna fight to the last buzzer, and that's where we at again, and that's because of that man right there.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna keep Rick Brunson on staff and bring him in as the head coach.
Wait, say that again.
We're gonna make we getting Rick Brunson ready to be the head coach. Not this year, not next year, but I mean, coach, Thibs ain't, he's no spring chicken. He's up there.
Yeah. Nah, Thibs ain't going no. Thibs ain't. He's gonna have to move on, but I don't think it'll be like a retirement thing. Like, Thibs is gonna coach for a long time.
That's an interesting question, though. Thing, because I mean that basically Rick Brunson is Thibs.
Yeah.
Once upon a time, you know what I'm saying. That used to be Thibs. Used to be the guy on the side, in the ear of the coach. You know what I'm saying. Brace between the players and the coach or whatever. And they say that Rick Brunson, he gets it popping he gets into guys. He lets guys know. Even his son lets his son know in front of everybody. You playing like this. You playing like that.
That's one of the great things about having it. I've played on teams with coaches' sons, and probably 4 different years. 3 of them was horrible. You know what I mean? But the coach that is gonna coach his son like he's gonna coach the star, you know what I mean? I respect that guy. But the one that is you know what I mean? Some of them just coach their son. You know what I mean? Like, yo, it's like 10 other people on the team. You coach anybody else? But yeah, I respect Brunson. I think he's got the respect of the rest of the team.
I seen him tell Jalen, like, listen, stop talking to the refs, stop crying. I was like, oh, okay. That's what I'm talking about.
He didn't just say it like that, though. He just said, "Man, what's talking to the refs?" Like hitting them with that. Like, you have to just you just have to respect it. Just just do it, whatever.
Nah,
but I've been in those situations too. Like, say, like players and actually as a coach too. One of the coaches that was helping out, whatever, he was so on his son that it was like extreme. Like, he was like really like badgering the son. So it's like crazy. So it could go bad too that way. I'm sorry, Shuttle.
Nah, it's just it's just it's a challenge. I coached my son, in PAL or whatever it was, and it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely a challenge, man. You got to be tough on your kid, but you can't be less or more tough than the other players. It just has to be equitable across the board. And I had that conversation with him by himself, and I had a conversation with the team with him. Like, listen, it's my son. If he does something wrong, I'm going to tell him. You guys do something wrong, I'm going to tell you too. It's going to be the same for everybody. And everybody got the message from the very beginning. And I think Brunson, Pop Brunson, I think he has that respect across the board. Like, they see him check his son. So when he checks them, it's the same thing across the board. Also, too, like, you got guys that I think have been coached very hard. Like, Deuce's father was a coach. And I'm not sure for certain, but I think Dante had a family member or relative that coached him up at least up to a certain part of his young career. So you got guys that have some of that experience that know what that dynamic is about.
And you could tell when they did it right and when they might not have. You know what I mean? Like even dating back to like Allen Houston, right? His dad was his coach, but you could see it in his upbringing, like in his mannerisms, like he was brought up right. You know what I mean? Like he was coached right and raised right. You know what I mean? And you gotta kind of see that same thing with Rick and Jalen.
Yeah.
I think I don't got nothing else, man. This was a phenomenal show. Appreciate everybody that tuned in. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as it was fun for me, because I got to explore some videos, break those down. Hopefully that'll be a new wrinkle added to the program. Every now and again when I find something, when I see something. But yeah, man. Ultimate. I guess I'm gonna just end with a recap, man. These players around the league is soft, and they scared to not only play for Thibs. My bad, but they scared to play in New York as well. And just like New York, just like Thibs, you got to be built a certain type of way to play here and to play for him. And I think the criterias are the same for both. For New York and Thibs, the criteria is exactly the same. So it cannot be Thibs here. I think you still got to have those same type of qualities that you would if he was here to play here. And we've seen it over the years of guys in and out, guys not wanting to even try it. And otherwise, Joel Embiid, grow up, man. You know what I mean? Man up. Like that, like that's not the way you lead your team. And to a point, it's giving me more confidence, because you can't be sulking like that. And like I said, if that was here in the New York Knicks uniform, you'd be getting similar slander that your guy Ben Simmons had. You know what I mean? And probably times 10 in New York. You know what I mean? So man up, man. Game 3's tomorrow. Let's hope we get their best effort. We fight through the refs. You know what I mean? And that was the final point, man. The refs. Listen, y'all made a mistake. Don't try to overcompensate next game.
Right.
We gonna be ready for it either way, but you know what I mean? That's it, man. Let's go, Knicks. Appreciate you guys, man. Any last words?
Game 3, Birdman hands. Game 3, Birdman hands. Let's go.
Yeah, if we win Game 3, I'm going to Philly, man. Some of the guys, on Twitter, they getting together. They going for Thursday's game. But if we win Thursday, I'm going on Sunday, man. So that's the vibes I'm on. I think we can sweep them. Just based off of all the stuff that we talked about today. But I don't want to get too far ahead there. But I'm glad to be available today. To get on the show, because I'm never usually I'm at work at this time when I'm on vacation, actually. I'm on a state vacation. So when I pop in, I never know who's on. When I saw a shuttle, man, I was like, yes, we're gonna have a good conversation. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad I was able to be available, man. Good to see you guys.
Nah, for sure. I'm glad you both made it. Early show, you know what I mean? So it's never a guarantee that I would have found anybody. So this was dope. Lost my train of thought again, but I mean,
replay gang though. We got the replay gang.
Yes, so shout out to them.
This is good. This is good content for the next 24 hours before Game 3.
Run the numbers up. You know what I mean? Hit the like button. Definitely do that on the way out. Until next time, man. I appreciate you guys. Yo, Black, it's time. Let me find the little outro for y'all, and then we are out. All right, we out.